Hi everybody, welcome to our fifth and final lesson of Positive Potential, Be the Exception. Let's start off with a quick review from some of our previous sessions.
So if you recall, we talked about the 5 parts of the whole person. We talked about the physical part, which is basically your body, your hair, skin, nails, what it's made up of. We talked about the mental side, which is basically your thought process, how you think through things. We talked about the emotional part, your emotions, your feelings. And then we talked about the social part, which is basically how you interact with other people. And then last but not least, we talked about the spiritual side, which is basically your morals, your values, and your beliefs.
One of the other things we talked about the NICE strategy. If you ever find yourself in a peer pressure situation, we gave you a 4-step process that you could use to help you deal with the pressure that you're facing. We said the N stood for no. We said the I stood for I statement. The C stood for change it up, and the E stood for exit strategy.
We also talked about the healthiest way to build a relationship. First, we started off with friendship. And in any healthy friendship, we have 4 main characteristics that make up that friendship: honesty, trust, respect, and good communication.
We said whenever you're talking about relationships, we talked about how it's kind of similar to that of building a house, where you want a firm, solid foundation. We said that the healthiest foundation would be friendship. And that is a great place to start a relationship, especially if you're planning on that relationship traveling through the next couple of levels. We said after friendship is dating. After dating, we have engagement, marriage, and then finally, sex. We said this would be the healthiest way to build a relationship, which will create the stablest relationship possible for you and your future. And then finally, we left you with the question: what are 5 characteristics or qualities that you might want in a future marriage partner? When we talk to teens, most of them say that they see marriage in their future. And so we wanted you to think a little bit about that relationship, but also the type of person that you might want to be in a relationship with. And so hopefully you had a couple of minutes. Hopefully you took some time to think about that. Maybe write down some characteristics or qualities that you think are important. And maybe you had time to even talk to a parent, a trusted adult, about the type of characteristics or qualities that you would want in that relationship, so that you can then have a relationship that maybe will last a lifetime. So the first thing we want to do is explore the topic of bullying. And so we're going to go through and do an activity that's called True That, That's Whack. So we're going to put some statements up. And if you think the statement is true, your answer is going to be true that. If you think the statement is false, your answer will be that's whack. These are all on the topic of bullying. Let's take a look at the first one. People who bully appear to have power over those they bully. True that, or that's whack. The answer is true that. People who bully others usually pick on those who have less social power or peer status. Psychological power, meaning they know how to harm others, or physical power, such as size and strength.
Spreading rumors is a form of bullying. True that, or that's whack. True that. Spreading rumors, name-calling, excluding others, and embarrassing them are all forms of social bullying that can have serious and lasting harm.
Number 3, people who bully are insecure and have low self-esteem. True that, or that's whack. Answer is that's whack. Many people who bully are popular, and they have average or better than average self-esteem. They often take pride in their aggressive behavior and control over the people they bully. People who bully may be a part of a group that thinks bullying is okay. Some people who bully may also have poor social skills and experience anxiety or depression. So for them, bullying can be a way to gain social status. But not every single person that bullies is insecure or has low self-esteem.
Number 4, bullying usually occurs when there are no other students around. True that, or that's whack. That's whack. Students see about 4 out of every 5 bullying incidents at school. In fact, when they witness bullying, they give the student who is bullying positive attention, or even join in about 3/4 of the time. Although 9 out of 10 students say there is bullying in their schools, adults rarely see bullying, even if they're looking for it. And last but not least, reporting bullying will make the situation worse. True that, or that's whack. That's whack. Research shows that students who report bullying to an adult are less likely to experience bullying in the future. Adults should encourage students to help keep their school safe and to tell an adult when they see bullying.
Now, sometimes if a person were to report a bullying incident, it could get worse. Meaning the person that is doing the bullying could get mad, they could get upset, and they may bully even more. But most of the time, that doesn't happen. Most of the time, reporting the bullying situation actually helps. The reason being is you get a parent, a trusted adult, a teacher, somebody else involved that can help deal with the situation. So usually, if somebody's being bullied, just ignoring it or not taking care of it doesn't fix the problem. So let's go over 4 quick tips if you or somebody you know is ever being bullied. The first thing is to speak up. Call that person out. Just say, hey, stop being a bully. That may help the situation. That may get them to realize what they're doing is wrong, and it may fix it. If it doesn't, you may want to use the second, which is to walk away. If somebody is trying to get you to be involved in a bullying incident or a bullying situation, just walk away. Don't even get involved. Don't be a part of the problem. The third thing is to tell an adult you trust. This could be a parent, a teacher, principal, somebody who can help you in the bullying situation, and they might be able to intervene and put a stop to it. And then the fourth thing, stick together. Be a part of a group of people that are making healthy decisions, healthy choices, and a group of friends that are being a part of the solution to bullying and not a part of the problem. For the next couple of minutes, we're going to look into the future. Sometimes it can be difficult to look ahead 10, 15, 20 years down the road. It seems sometimes so far off that it's really hard to imagine. And so for the next couple of minutes, we're going to use this tape measure, which is going to represent your life. And each inch is going to represent 1 year of your life. Now, most of you are probably around the age of 11, 12, 13 years old. And so let's take a look at the 12, and that's going to represent age 12, which is about the average age where most of you probably are. So if you think of age 12, what are some things that you've probably already accomplished in life at this age?
You learned how to walk, talk, read, write, maybe even play some sports.
Yeah, so you've accomplished a lot already. You've learned a lot of different things, a lot of different skills and talents, and you've been able to accomplish quite a bit in 12 years. And so we're going to move on from the 12. But before we do, I want you to think about the fact that those years are gone, that they're over. You can't really get them back. So anything that's happened, any mistakes you've made, things that have happened in those 12 years are really over. They're done. Hopefully you've learned a lot in those 12 years, but you can't go back in time. And so we're going to move on from the 12 to the next level. The next age we're going to look at is age 26. And age 26 is actually a symbolic age because it's typically when most Americans get married on average. So what are some things that you maybe have accomplished by age 26 or hope to accomplish?
By age 26, you typically have already graduated college. You're looking into what kind of career you might want to have and also where you might want to live.
And finally, let's take a look at the last age that we want to look at, and it is age 78. And the reason we chose 78 is this is the average lifespan of an American. Now, many people will live well beyond age 78, but this is just the average. So if you think about your life and you start thinking about the length of your life, what are some things that you are going to maybe accomplish in this time period? Well, this might be the time period where you are in a steady career, and then you may retire, and then you may have grandkids, and you may be doing lots of different things that you enjoy in life. Now, if you start to think about the whole scope of your life, really where you're at right now compared to where you're gonna be, when you start to compare the different levels and the fact that 12 years of your life is pretty small in comparison to the grand scheme of your whole life. But also, if you think about the decisions and choices that you're going to be making in the next couple of years, they have the potential to affect the rest of your life. If you think about the different stages of your life, we know that age 12 to 26 typically is one of the most important stages of a person's life. The reason being is because they're making some really, really important decisions, big decisions that ultimately determine where their life goes. If you make some unhealthy choices all the way down here, does that affect your life here? Yeah. Does it affect your life here? Does it affect your life all the way down there? Yes. If you start making some really great, healthy decisions, choices that will positively affect your health, your relationships, and you start building healthy relationships, does that affect your life here, 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 here? Yeah. So if you think about your life, and especially if you think about the next stage of your life, that 12 to 26, it's going to be full of lots of great experiences. It's going to be full of some challenges, some obstacles. It's actually going to be full of maybe even some detours that could potentially get you off course and may mean that you don't reach some goals that you had planned. But it may mean that you have to take a long way around to get to some of those goals. And if you think about your life, sometimes it can be similar to that of taking a road trip.
How many of you have ever taken a road trip before? Has anyone ever been on a road trip, taken a wrong turn or detour, or gotten off course, or arrived at a different destination? Similarly, sometimes in our attempt to reach our goals, we can encounter some roadblocks that may take us off our path. Some people believe that once they've gotten off the right course, they can't get back on track. But this doesn't have to be the case. We've had some teens come up to us and say, I've made some mistakes. I've gotten off the course of making healthy choices. Is it too late for me? Absolutely not. It's never too late to get back on track and start making healthy choices. But it's up to you to determine if you want the best possible life for yourself. Can there be consequences to unhealthy choices? Yes. In fact, there are some consequences that can last a lifetime. But the important thing to understand is that you can use those experiences to arm yourself with the information you need to accomplish your dreams and goals and teach others how to do it as well. With enough will and determination, you may surprise yourself by exceeding your own expectations. Now, I'm sure we've all made decisions we aren't proud of, but that doesn't have to change your desire to reach your goals and fulfill your dreams. Making choices we aren't proud of doesn't make us a failure, but it is important to think ahead when we make certain decisions. A positive question to ask yourself can be, how could this affect my life both in the short and the long term? Your life is like a jigsaw puzzle. Every little choice you make can determine what the bigger picture is going to look like. Think about Ashley's story. Ashley had obstacles she needed to overcome, and she overcame them while she continued to press toward her goals. Many of you already know what you want to do when you get out of school. You're probably aware that in order to achieve those goals, you'll have to face some challenges head on. Doing so will make you stronger, wiser, and better equipped to handle the bigger obstacles that lay ahead. How you respond to the smaller challenges now will determine how you respond to the greater challenges in the future.
So before we end today's session, I want to leave you with one final thought. And I have with me a crisp, brand new $20 bill. And so I'm going to take this $20 bill and I'm going to give it to Jasmine. And what I want her to do is I want her to take it and to fold it up as many times as she possibly can, as small as she possibly can. Now, while she's doing that, I want you to think about $20. So if I were to give you $20, what would you do with it? What would you buy with it? Maybe you would buy some gum. Maybe you'd buy some candy. Maybe you'd buy clothes, a t-shirt, go to a movie. There's lots of different things that you could do with $20. Okay, so now I'm going to have Jasmine hand me back the $20 bill. And if you think about this $20, now that she's folded it, she's put some creases in it, is it any less valuable? Is it worth $18 now? Is it worth $16.50? No, it's still worth $20, right? And so here's what I want her to do. I'm going to give her the $20 back. I want her to take it, crumple it up, squish it, smash it, roll it into a ball. Step on it. Okay, so she's going to hand me the 20 back. Now, if you look at this 20, it looks pretty different than when we started, right? It's wrinkled, it's been stepped on, it's crumpled. But is it any less valuable than when we started? Is it now worth $13.50? Is it worth $11.27? Is it worth $9.08? No, it's still worth $20, right? And so what's the point? Well, the point is that nothing that we do to this $20 bill, aside from shredding it into 1,000 pieces or burning it up, is going to make it any less valuable. In fact, we could take this $20 bill, we could rip it down the center, tape it back together, and it's still going to be worth $20. And so if you think about this $20 bill, no matter what we do to it, We could take it outside, we could drag it through some mud, we could drive over it, we could throw it in the trash, and it's still going to hold its value. If you think back to what we talked about in lesson 1, we talked about your value. We talked about the value that you have just simply because you exist. And I want you to think about your life and then think about this $20 bill. The $20 bill doesn't matter what it looks like on the outside. Doesn't matter what's been done to it. It still has its value. And the same is true for all of you. That no matter what has happened to you in the past, no matter how many mistakes you've made, no matter what people have said about you or to you, or how people have made you to feel, your life is still valuable. So every time you see a $20 bill, I want you to think about the value that you have simply because you exist. And attached to your value is a purpose, a reason for your existence, a reason for you to be here, and something for you to do while you're here on this earth. Now, sometimes certain things can happen to us. We can be bullied. People can say mean things to us. And sometimes we kind of feel like this. Sometimes there are things that people make us feel like. And there is a culture that makes us feel like you have to look a certain way. You have to dress a certain way. And then you have value. Is that true? No. Because does your value come from what you look like on the outside? Not at all. Your value comes from who you are on the inside. So take the time to develop yourself on the inside. Build characteristics and qualities that make you become the best version of yourself that you can be. Figure out your purpose. Figure out what your legacy is. Start to set some goals and move toward that purpose. Ultimately, move toward building that positive legacy that you want. Recognize the value that you have. Every time you see a $20 bill, I want you to remember that you have value. And that value, there's a purpose attached to it. And that is something that you can take with you for the rest of your life.
So looking back over these last few sessions, you might have discovered something about yourself that maybe you never knew before. Maybe you've seen yourself as a person who can accomplish great things, but now you can see that there really is a bright future ahead of you. You've looked at yourself as a whole person and asked, how can unhealthy decisions affect me? You've taken a look at your influences and those you surround yourself with, and maybe you've decided that some of the people you hang out with may or may not be the people that can help you reach your goals. You've heard from your peers and you've even had a chance to set some goals and see what your life could be like 5, 10, or even 15 years down the road. So hopefully you guys have started to think about what you could achieve and kind of have a better understanding of how those decisions that you make today can affect your future. Now, we've discussed the foundation for healthy relationships and the importance of balance in our lives. No one but you can determine your destiny or your final outcome. The question is, will you be willing to take the challenge to do what's necessary to accomplish your goals and live up to the expectations of your dreams? We only get one life, and how we choose to live it is dependent on what we allow or don't allow. It's important that you don't let circumstances, failures, or people stop you from doing what it's that you want to accomplish. It's been said that if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Remember, character counts. Your character is the person you are when no one else is looking. So who are you? Have you discovered who you are or what your greatest achievements could be? Have you discovered the key to unlocking your potential? It's up to you. So as we come to the conclusion of session 5, we've given you a lot of information regarding bullying, understanding your value, and setting major life goals up. We share this information with you so that you can be empowered to make a decision for yourself and not let anything hold you back from building your legacy. Being aware and having the knowledge to recognize this can prepare you in advance so that you can accomplish your goals. It may be a good idea to list out these goals as well as the challenges and fears that may arise as you take steps towards reaching your dreams. So your charge for today is to list 5 major life goals that you want to achieve in the next stage of your life, which we define as ages 14 to 26. For example, a major life goal may be to graduate high school, attend a trade school, get married, buy a house, or have children. So sometime before our next session, we want you guys to take a few minutes to write down your responses on page 17 of your workbook next to where it says charge number 5. These goals are specific to your life and what you would like to accomplish between now and age 26. We encourage you guys to talk your goals and obstacles over with a parent or a trusted adult. Thanks for paying attention through all these sessions, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.